So hello guys. So my name is Anjaro. I'm taking speaking for professionals. So I'll be talking about this one controversial topic, and the controversial topic is why my opinion diets are worse for you than you think. That is my opinion. So I hope you guys are willing to listen and understand. So let me ask you guys a quick question. Actually, I could have asked like a bunch of you guys, but I asked each one of you guys specifically. Can you guys all can you figure out the answer why I asked you guys personally to be part of my audience?
Because we're your friends.
Because we're
That's
all athletes.
I give
We all-
criticism, constructive criticism.
that's at
Tweets.
the very end, Katie.
I know, that's why you asked me.
Well, the answer I feel like I gave is that all you guys are into fitness and personal health. Okay, so that is the main reason why I picked all you guys right here. I either saw you guys at work or I heard from you guys that you guys had fitness goals. So to all the girls right here, to all the girls, don't lie. You kind of wish your boyfriend or whoever your future husband is, don't lie. You want them to have a body like this. Don't lie. You kind of do. You kind of do.
Really got us on that one.
Don't lie. You've seen the photos and you secretly kind of want that. Don't lie.
That's Tom Holland.
But then also for a lot of us guys, we want to have this transformation, don't we? We want to have this transformation.
You look how looks like a fish.
Michael
So-
Phelps.
Yeah. So I asked you guys right here, there's a reason why I picked Michael Phelps. Even though I could have said he's my hero, I could have said multiple things, but I chose him specifically for one reason. It was his nutrition. That was the number one thing that I thought that he mastered. And in the fitness world, you remember that nutrition is 90% of everything and exercise is only the 10%. So his nutrition was on point. But here's what I'm going to say is that for in general, why I think diets are a terrible idea. I believe that they're some of the worst piece of advice in the world. Now, you might find me controversial. You might not like the idea, but let me explain my points of view, okay? So I'm going to say how it never works, if that's okay. So that's my first thing. It never works and how it never works. So we're going to first talk about the human mind effects, if that's okay. So the first thing, this is from Berkeley. This is from the University of California from Berkeley. So I kind of combined it to little parts and I kind of said straight up for this is the human mind. In the human mind, you see that for basic diets. So you have keto, you have paleo, a bunch of other stuff. You see the dangers about that is that they cut the calorie intake by a huge amount, which is unsustainable. I'm talking around a 750 to 1,000 calorie deficit, which in my opinion is too much because you realize how much food you can get for 1,000 calories or how little that can be. So because of that, your mind plays with you. You feel like you've hit your max calories, but your body is still hungry and it's starving itself. So this is where it forces into that body where you're tired and you feel terrible. And like soon you're going to have this mindset where your body's all it's thinking is food. And soon there's gonna be a point where you can't stand it anymore. So you have to go eat something. So this is a term that's called a yo-yo diet. So what people will do is like, they'll go on a diet for, let's say 3 weeks. And then right after that, they then couldn't handle anymore. They splurge and then they gain the weight back. This is why it's so hard to diet and why people say it never works because they can't sustain it over multiple periods of time. You're all good.
Sorry.
So now I'm going to also talk about the human body effects. So the problem is that this with normal diets, I'm assuming that you do not do a single bit of exercise. This is what I'm going to assume. So the problem with that is that actually 5 pounds of muscle is way less than 5 pounds of fat. But in the human body, it will eat actually all the muscle first. So you have a lot of muscle and you go into these really strict diets, you're going to end up having your muscles are going to be eaten. You're going to lose a lot of stuff. And the other problem is that it doesn't get rid of the body fat first. It actually gets rid of that. That's the reason why I say you get a loss of muscle mass. And instead of making you get like really good looking, it causes you to shrink and look tiny. So for example, you might have a 6-pack, but you're end up going to look terrible. You're going to look really tired and exhausted. if that's okay. So some post-diet effects. This is from Smartabase in Berkeley. I have all the credits underneath. But if you see, the problem with a lot of the post-diet effects is that they have eating disorders, and it's so dangerous for athletes. The body will not perform at its max, and there's medical problems and consequences that can ruin it. I don't know if any of you guys are a big fan of like Bella Hadid or Gigi Hadid, but they were like, their mom had such a strict diet for them that they ended up like starving themselves so much. Like I think they got hungry and they just had an almond. That was it, which to me personally sounds insane. So now let me talk about the real goals of weight loss, in my opinion. Now, this is where I'm going to explain to you calories and how it's important. This is from LifeSum. So we have there's calorie maintenance, deficit, and surplus. So depending on who you are, so I'm going to just say, for example, David, I'm going to say you've told me that you've wanted a calorie to bulk up. You want to get bigger. Aubrey said she wanted you to get a little bit bigger. So this would be a calorie surplus. This is where the number of calories that you consume is higher than the number of calories you burn. And you don't. So for a calorie deficit, this could be, for example, this could be me, this could be any person. This is the most common one. People ask all the time, they want fewer calories than your body expenses. So you burn more than you actually eat. And then calorie maintenance is you keep around the same number. So it's kind of very simple. In terms of weight loss and body fat loss, this is from InBody. So this is another one of those sources that I had. So I say that weight loss, not body fat loss, but I said weight loss is secretly a double-edged sword, because you might lose the body fat, which works, but you also lose a lot of muscle as well. I said earlier, you're going to get tiny and you're going to end up shrinking. So that's not something. You don't want to look like a tribe member who just died and they feel like they want to, they're so hungry. Body fat loss, on the other hand, it's focused on fueling the muscles when you're recovering from any simple workout. And how it starts is actually doesn't start from your stomach. A lot of people say they want to focus on their stomach, but it actually starts from like other parts. It'll start from your arms, your face, the tip of your legs, and it slowly comes up. And then soon you lose all the body at first, and the last part's your stomach. That's where it burns. So some smarter ways to lose body fat. So I have macronutrients, so protein. You need this in order to repair body cells to make new ones. This is how you break down muscle and grow it back. Carbs, this is the body's pretty much simple pre-workout. This is the thing that they use to convert energy from food, which is glucose. They convert that into energy to fully support the body in physical activity. Fats, this is the stored energy. So all those times that you need when you're racing, this is the time that it's used. So the approach to nutrition is from Berkeley. To establish limits, that is where I would say you just need to make sure that you stay a good time, and like you have limits. You can enjoy stuff, but you don't need to do it. Hacks for nutrition, for example, cutting. You can easily drink a protein shake before you then eat your meal. You're going to fill up immediately. Shakes, you can cook your own meals and track your calories. This is some of the things I would say is much better. So I have some few people here. So these people are called, their whole name is called Damien the Fat Ass. I apologize, Professor, and Cell Health. These guys have been known to create recipes that are so good at anything. So for example, mac and cheese, it's 500 calories. It's all about taking advantage of it and using it for the better. So in summarization, I believe that diets are actually a bad idea and they counteract your progress. And depending on all of us, we're all athletes. It never works for the body, and it ruins the mentality, especially because mentality is number one. A lot of the best people, they say that mentality is number one, first of all. And then also it's dangerous for athletes. And I think there's way more smarter ways in nutrition. I would like to say thank you very much. And I hope you guys have a really great day.
Yay, that was so good.
Thank you. So now you guys can do, here are the sources. So anyone have any questions that they would like to ask?
I don't have any questions. I think you explained it all perfectly.
Wait, Erdin, if
Yes.
I ate a calorie surplus and then like worked out a lot, would I build muscle?
Yes. So calorie surplus, this is for a term called a bulking. So when you bulk, you're trying to grow muscle. So depending on
That's also a lot of protein too for bulking.
Yeah, so you need to eat a lot more protein. Thank you, Katie. But for the girl's body and the guy's body is completely different. So for us guys, when we have a bulk, we end up growing muscle. We will gain a little more weight, but we grow that muscle. For you guys, so for the girls, what happens is you guys get more toned. So you all see those famous actors that you really aspire to be. When you bulk, you're growing that muscle. You're going to get a more toned definition in your body. And then when you cut, it then removes all the body fat and then it reveals it. So you see all those people, they show their rock hard 6-pack abs. That's from cutting and bulking. That's the best way to describe it. Anyone else have any questions in general? Okay,
Well-
please, something.
All right, I have a question. So what would you say if someone's not eating healthy and their doctor's like, all right, like, look, your, I don't know, your blood sugar or something isn't looking right, and they get blood work done and it's just not looking good. And they need to improve their diet. Like, what's an other option than going on a diet? Like, what do you recommend for that?
So what I recommend is this. So I don't like to use the word term diet, but I like to say nutrition plan. So that's what it is. Because when I think of the word diet, I think of paleo, keto. And let me tell you guys, I know some of you guys know I did keto, and that was one of the worst decisions I did. It worked, but I hated every single day I was alive for 2 months. So for these types of people, like, I'm going to use personal experience. I just ate what I liked. But this is where I say use social media advantage. There were so many recipes that I used that had high protein. And in terms of the carbohydrates and the fats, it worked perfectly. So I would understand that someone who is overweight, they would understand that they need to eat a lot healthier. But the thing is that I would say for them, it's establishing limits and being able to have everything in moderation. Because if you have something in moderation, it's not going to hurt you over time. Like, I'll admit, every time after a meet, first thing I do after a meet, I go to McDonald's. I don't eat it all the time. It's definitely one of the things I do. It's all about establishing limits, but as you get better and better, it develops more habits. Because personally, like, for the last year, I've been meal prepping and eating what I like. I just found way better alternative options on how to make it. And the doctor came and said, yeah, your blood pressure is looking good. Everything's looking good. So it's all based on the ingredients. So a lot of ingredients, they might be fresh, or they might be better for you, which works in the end goal. But some of the real stuff, it might be really bad for you. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Thank you.
Aubrey, do you have any question just in general?
No, I don't have any questions for right now.
Katie?
I don't have any questions.
I have a question. Well, it's kind of a question.
Go
More
ahead,
of like
David.
more of a clarification. So do you remember Gio from Eastlake?
Yeah, Gio from Eastlake, yeah. Mhm.
Guy was like over 300 pounds and like he was really heavy. And for a long time when he was doing his weight loss, and even now, it's just chicken, rice, and really lean ground beef. And that was it for a long time. And he's lost over 100 pounds. He goes to the gym every day. And he's gaining a lot of muscle. So one thing is like, is that considered a diet? Because a diet is just what you eat, right? On a consistent basis. So, and it's working for him and he hasn't yo-yoed yet or anything like that. So is that sort of restrictive diet relatable to this, the ones that you gave examples of, or is it just kind of unique?
So it depends on the type of person. That's understandable. And each one of us, all of us have different taste buds. Something that I might like might be something that you might hate, for example. So the difference is that another thing is also coming from personal experience. And I know Gio went through this, is that when you get overweight, you literally have PTSD from that. Like, I still have that. So you remember that times of how you felt and how you felt like, terrible. And kind of in today's society, I'm really sorry to say that. I'm not trying to say this, but like, in today's society, it's legit. Looks is number one. That's how you get business. That's how you get whatever. So the best way I can describe it is that he had the discipline. That is the main thing. Discipline is completely different compared to, discipline is completely different compared to, like in general, because like Gio, he might have easily been able to have that discipline to do it, but people in general might not be able to do that. So that's the difference.
Okay.
Is that it for question? All right, so after that, any critiques you have on the presentation?
I think he spoke really well, actually.
One critique, hold on.
This could be compliments, this could be critiques, I don't mind.
I have a couple things you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I thought you did really well in your presentation, spoke clearly, very good. I like how you had the points and you went off on those points and added more information. I thought that was very well. A couple things. One, I think you should add a slide that includes why you're able to speak on this, like some of your credibility. I think you could say like, oh, I've been working at the YMCA, or I've been an athlete for this number of years, just to make sure that your audience knows like, oh, I know about this stuff, so I'm able to talk about it, you know? So I think that'd be a good idea to add. For some of the stuff, I would shorten your sourcing slide. I don't think you need 3 slides for that. If you can shorten it, and I like how you added the Berkeley parentheses. That was good for citing your sources. And then finally, I would just make sure you specify the diet where you're not eating as much, because I know there is different diets, like you said, the keto and the paleo. So make sure you're saying that so people don't get confused. But otherwise, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, thank you. I gotta say, first of all, the problem was that I had literally, they told me my time frame was 6 to 8 minutes. So I literally had, I don't want to be mean, but I had to like rush this. Like, 'cause I can't get a whole presentation in 6 to 8 minutes. Otherwise, we'd be here for 20 minutes. Yeah.
Sorry you guys can't see me, or sorry, Arden, you can't see me. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you and I can see you.
Yeah,
You're
you
fine.
can't see me. You can? Okay, cool. Because I had to transition because have to go to class. One thing I would say is you say that's okay a lot, and that doesn't really convey confidence or strength. Like if I'm like listening to a speaker and it's giving me like facts, right, like actual information that is valid, and he says, let me tell you this and why this is right, if that's okay, it kind of feels like, I don't know, it feels kind of weak. So it's just like a habit, I would say, that you can get rid of. But other than that, I would say everything was pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
Thank you, David. It's just the 6 to 8 minute time frame I had. I had to rush this, and the time, I have a phone right now next to me with a timer, and I can just see it. I'm like rushing it as much as I can.
You're good. Yeah.
Can I say my critique?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, Katie.
I thought it was just hypocritical because you've gone on diets before.
That's very understandable, but the thing is that a lot of things are trial and error, especially in fitness, and that is very true. But like, as you know that saying, like when you go something, you learn from it, so then you try to make sure others don't fall on that same path. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
that's mainly what it was. I didn't.
Yeah.
It's like for example, in my training I had yesterday, it was like a mother experienced a kid, her son drowned, but she decided to open a drowning teaching class so that no one else drowned. It was kind of my way of saying, I don't want you guys to fall in this same path. I did it and it wasn't fun. I don't want others to do this.
That's a good explanation. I was gonna add on and say that I think you did a great job. It was very interesting. I would say like I just wish you were a little less apologetic about like your opinion. Like I think you had a really good point to share, and it was like really interesting. So you shouldn't like apologize for
Right.
bringing that point up. Like it's a good point. So I would just add that, because I know I do that when I speak a lot. Like, this is what I believe, and like I'm kind of timid where I'm trying to become more like, no, this is it. You know what I mean? And like just not apologizing for what you believe. So
There you go. That's very true.
Yeah,
Yes.
I also like he said, like a lot of it you're saying isn't
like opinion. A lot of what you're saying is like things that have been studied, that have been recorded, that have data, that have evidence. So a lot of it's not like you're just believing or have faith, and so a lot of it is like scientific, you know. So think of it more that way, less of like you made it up or like it's your just only your personal experience, because it's not. A lot of people have gone through this. A lot of people have worked on it, studied on it, etc.
Yeah. Well, anything else you guys have?
I'd say
No,
good job,
Like
great
my
job
hoodie.
overall.
All right, don't leave yet. I gotta close the recording and then I'll let you guys go.
thanks, teacher.
Give them an